Have you ever wondered what really lies beneath the waves? We often think of the ocean as a place of serene beauty, but for centuries, sailors have told tales of strange, sometimes terrifying encounters in the deep. One of the most legendary of these stories dates back to 1521, a time when the world was still a vast, uncharted mystery. Spanish sailors, navigating the treacherous waters near the Canary Islands, reported a chilling encounter. They claimed they were attacked by mermaids. What did they really see? And could there be any truth to these ancient legends? Let's set the scene. It's the age of discovery. Brave mariners are pushing the boundaries of the known world, sailing into the unknown on wooden ships, guided only by the stars. Fear and superstition were as much a part of the journey as the wind and the waves. These sailors weren't just battling storms. They were battling the monsters they believed lurked in the abyss. Dragons, krakens, and of course, sirens or mermaids, half-human, half-fish creatures said to lure sailors to their doom. So, in 1521, when a Spanish crew reported an attack, it wasn't just a random tall tale. It was part of a much larger tapestry of maritime folklore. But what makes this specific incident so intriguing is that it was recorded. These weren't just whispered stories in a tavern. They were official-sounding reports from seasoned sailors. They described creatures with human-like torsos and fishtails who were not a beautiful, alluring sight. Instead, they were described as aggressive, hostile beings that swarmed their ship. Now, from our modern perspective, it's easy to dismiss this as a simple case of mistaken identity. The most common scientific explanation for mermaid sightings throughout history is the manatee or its close relative, the dugong. These large, slow-moving marine mammals are found in coastal waters, and from a distance, especially to a tired, sun-dazzled sailor, their shape could be misinterpreted. They have paddle-like flippers that can look a bit like arms, and they sometimes surface in a way that might resemble a human head and shoulders bobbing in the water. In fact, Christopher Columbus himself made a similar observation during his first voyage in 1493. He wrote in his journal about seeing 3 mermaids off the coast of Hispaniola, but he was quite disappointed, noting they were not half as beautiful as they are painted. He even remarked that they had somewhat the semblance of a human. Most historians agree that what Columbus and his crew saw were manatees. So, could this be the same explanation for the 1521 incident? It's certainly possible. Manatees are generally gentle giants, but like any wild animal, they can become agitated or defensive if they feel threatened. A large wooden ship sailing through their habitat could have certainly been perceived as a threat. A group of manatees, perhaps startled by the vessel, might bump against the hull or thrash in the water. 2 sailors already on edge, primed by stories of sirens and sea monsters. This frantic activity could easily be interpreted as a deliberate, hostile attack by mythical creatures. But let's play devil's advocate for a moment. What if it wasn't manatees? The oceans are vast, and even today, we've only explored a tiny fraction of them. Every year, new species are discovered in the deep sea, creatures more bizarre than anything we could have imagined. Is it completely impossible that an unknown species of marine primate or a uniquely evolved aquatic animal could exist, or could have existed, in the past? This idea falls into the realm of cryptozoology, the study of hidden or unknown animals. While mainstream science requires concrete evidence, cryptozoologists argue that eyewitness accounts, especially when there are many of them across different cultures and time periods, shouldn't be dismissed out of hand. The legend of the mermaid isn't unique to European sailors. Similar creatures appear in mythologies all over the world, from the Japanese Ningo to the African Mamiwata. Could all these different cultures, separated by vast oceans and thousands of years, have independently invented the exact same myth? Or are they all describing a real creature filtered through the lens of their own cultural folklore? Let's go back to the 1521 report. The sailors described the creatures as aggressive. While manatees aren't known for attacking ships, other marine animals are. For instance, a pod of dolphins or even small whales could be mistaken for something else in chaotic conditions. But dolphins are generally seen as friendly, and it's hard to imagine them being described in such a monstrous way. Another theory points to seals or sea lions. They are known to be more curious and sometimes even aggressive. A large male sea lion can be an intimidating sight, with a loud bark and a powerful body. If a colony of them surrounded a ship, their movements could be perceived as an attack. Their sleek, wet bodies and vaguely humanoid faces in the water could have fueled the mermaid myth. Near the Canary Islands, The now-extinct Caribbean monk seal once had a range that might have overlapped with these sailing routes. Perhaps a desperate, starving colony of seals saw the ship as a source of food or a threat to their territory. It's also crucial to consider the psychological state of the sailors. Life at sea in the 16th century was brutal. Malnutrition, scurvy, dehydration, and sheer exhaustion were constant companions. These conditions can lead to hallucinations and distorted perceptions. A floating log, a patch of seaweed, or a school of fish could easily morph into a monster in the mind of a poorly nourished sailor staring into the shimmering, disorienting sea for weeks on end. The power of suggestion was also incredibly strong. If one man shouted mermaid, others, already expecting to see such things, would be quick to see it too. Mass hysteria is a powerful phenomenon. However, despite all these logical explanations, the mermaid myth endures. It speaks to our deep, primal connection to the ocean and our fascination with the unknown. The idea of a creature that bridges our world and the mysterious world beneath the waves is captivating. It represents a blending of the familiar, the human form, with the alien, the aquatic world. So, what are we left with? On one hand, we have the compelling, logical explanations. Manatees, seals, or the psychological strain of long sea voyages. These theories are backed by what we know about biology, history, and human psychology. They provide a rational framework for understanding how such a fantastical story could have come to be. On the other hand, we have the enduring power of the legend itself and the simple, tantalizing question, what if? What if the ocean still holds secrets we haven't even begun to uncover? The 1521 mermaid attack near the Canary Islands remains a fascinating footnote in maritime history. It's a perfect storm of exploration, superstition, and the very real mysteries of the deep. Whether it was a case of mistaken identity, a shared hallucination, or something else entirely, we may never know for sure. And perhaps that's why the story is still so captivating hundreds of years later. It reminds us that for all our technology and knowledge, the world is still full of wonder, and the line between myth and reality is sometimes blurrier than we think. What do you believe? Was it just a bunch of tired sailors seeing manatees? Or could there be more to the story? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries.